Welcome back. Whether you took a 5-minute break or like we did, or a 5-day break, I'm glad you're back to watch the second video for the semester. In this video, I am going to cover our classroom. Just quickly, I'm going to cover NetCAD and uCertify, just so you know where it is and what I'm talking about when I talk about having access and doing a lab. Okay. Of course, you can ask questions inside of our classroom. If you don't find something, I go too fast, please use the Help My Professor uh, uh, discussion forum to ask any question you may have, so that you're on the same page as all of us. All right, so let me share my screen. This is how I'm going to share the screen that's right in front of me. That way, I I don't have to turn to the right. So here we are. Okay, so this is our class, and you can get to this menu of our courses of each week's work by clicking on Home on the left-hand side, right? You should know that already. Uh, I also want to point out, though, that my announcements, you won't see any of this stuff. This is my instructor stuff. I need to put it down at the bottom. But I want you to notice up at the top of the class, I I always do an announcement, and the announcement introduces what we're going to do for the week, kind of gives you hints and specific assignments that I'm expecting you to do, including the reading assignments. And then at the bottom, when I find out something that changes, like I have to change the due dates or I have to do something in the syllabus we found out in the last class. Once I make that change, I will put under updates, I will I will date my change, and I will say whatever is different. I do this all week long. And the reason I do this is because as we move through the course, I'll find and change, and you guys will tell me about stuff that will help other students. And I want to have a place to put those updates as we go through each week. And this is how I've decided is the best way to do this. I will basically just put it 5.9, and I will say what it is that's different. So every time you come into class, don't don't expect me to have a new announcements with any changes, because then you kind of fall behind um, if I'm giving you 5 announcements each week. So please look for those. For example, this week I did put the NetLab credentials here as its own announcement, just to make it easier for you to find it. Right at the top under announcements. Now, once we're 4 weeks into the class, it'll roll off of announcements. You can still see it by clicking on announcements over on the left-hand side and then clicking on NetLab, and then you will see your announcements. Now, notice everybody, when you go to NetLab, you're going to NetLab 03. My Cisco is NetLab 05, right? Everybody has the same password. It's password 1. What changes is your number, and it's just alphabetically labeled. Do not sign in under the wrong number, right? Because if Christopher here signs in under 109, then he's going to be doing Christine's work. Christine might like that or not. I don't know. But you need to make sure you're on the same line, even if you have to highlight it to make sure you're on the same line. Don't worry, everybody. I'm not going to put this video out on the internet. I'm just going to put this video in our class. So your names aren't going to all be on YouTube. So please make sure you're on the right line. Now, once you, I'm going to go to, I might as well keep talking about NetLab while we are here. My mouse stopped working. Great. Come on, mouse. That's never a good thing. Hmm. Sorry, guys. you can't see me. I need to stop sharing so I can see this button. Pause. All right, so that is our NetLab. I'm going to go ahead and take us to NetLab at this point, just so I can show you what it looks like. And make sure you're at NetLab 03. You're going to sign in. Make sure you're at NetLab 03 and not 05, 07, something like that. And I'm just going to show you what the labs are that we're going to do in this class. So these software labs, not accounts, just labs, submit. So, oh, let's grab the wrong one. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so I changed screen. This is a screen you will open up to schedule a lab. You're going to click on new lab, and then I have options for creating a lab for you, students. You create your own, or seeing other people's labs. But what I want to do is you're going to see schedule a lab for myself. That's the one you want to click. And then these are the labs that I have access to, hardware and software. Okay, you can't. Why didn't I share it? Okay, share. All right, I just found out that you couldn't see what I was doing. So I went ahead and shared. So you're going to sign into Net. Let me go back. You're going to sign into NetLab. You're going to be on this window. You're going to click New Lab Reservation. You're only going to have an option for share schedule lab for myself. I, of course, can see students. And then there's two windows. You don't want assessment. You want configuration. Because that's the one where you're going to get assignments that you have to do. And then you go into the lab, and then you will have access. Oh, I'm sorry. Then you have to pick a time. Now, if you want to do the lab right away, then click right under the red line. If you want to do it some other time, later in the day or even tomorrow, right? You want to schedule. Now, there's no reason to schedule labs in this class in advance, because you can see there's enough pods for all of you to do your equipment at the same time, to do all your labs at the same time. That's not a problem at all, because this is a simulated environment. If you go on and you take my Cisco class, it's real pods of Cisco equipment, and there's only 8 pods of Cisco routers and switches for the class, so the whole class can't do it at one time. But in this class, you can all be working at the same time. You just pick a time that's available and a simulation that's available. Now, because I picked right away, I'm going to hit submit. Now I can actually go into that that lab, and I'm going to click enter lab. And once I'm in the lab, then I will have access to what we call a topology. The topology is the equipment that they have for you to work with. Linux, Windows, Windows 10, and Windows we have Linux, Windows 11, Windows 10, right? So those are the operating systems that your A+ certification on. Be thankful you don't have to learn Windows 7 and Windows 8. That was the hardest part of in an Apple phone. That was my hardest part when I got to the my certification exam. But you guys are Windows 10, Windows 11, and then learning Linux, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Now, your actual labs are inside of the classroom. They're not here. In Cisco, the labs are all inside of our equipment. So you will, here's the actual pieces of it. Here's the Linux machine. I don't know why they have I apologize. I don't know why there's two Windows computers, but maybe they have, in one of the labs, they have them, you talking to each other, and here's Windows 11. That way, you can see and work with all of the different equipment. Again, here's the topology. You can click on the equipment here in the topology, and it opens up the machine, or you can click on the topology itself, or the piece of equipment itself. Now, these are all simulated, so everything happens really, really, really fast. So you will need to, um, you don't have to wait for a Cisco router or switch to actually boot, which takes 5 minutes, by the way. And students complain, it's so slow. Well, it's slow because it's real equipment. Real equipment that isn't instantaneous, like you just saw when I was clicking on the different computers. So anyways, you will do labs within this environment, and I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to talk about it again later. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that and expand this back out. So we're back in our class. Now, the next thing I want to look at is I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop sharing. Stop sharing, and I'm going to move. Okay, I'm going to start sharing again. We are back at the here. Hang on a second. Here. Okay. All right. So we're back. Here is we're back to the material. So as you move through the content here, it should be everything for module 1 is in module 1. This is everything that you're going to do. There's actually another start here assignment that I've added, this assignment student information. This wasn't here Saturday. I added this today. I want you to fill out this assignment for me. I want you to download this file, and I want you to put your information in here, your name, what you go by. Like I go by Don, but my name's Donald, right? And last name. If you get married and you change your name, you need to let me know what the school has you at this, but you're really something else, right? Let me know that. I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself. Uh, I want you to tell me not I'm 208 pounds and I'm overweight because I went to Disney and ate way too much while I was down there last weekend. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for your personality, outgoing, love computers, love travel, love hunting, whatever it is that you're into. Tell me about yourself. What your degree program is, how far along, halfway, just started. Where do you live? This is just part of town. I don't want your address. Work, where do you work now? Don't put NA. If you're a full-time student, put full-time student, right? Where do you want to work in the future? Don't say unknown. Say not sure, but maybe a company like, and then put a company name in there, right? If you really are undecided about what you want to do, right now, you need to take a moment and go to the a website online and learn about what you want to do, what you should do. And the two websites that I always recommend people going to is ONET Online, and it connects with I'm forgetting the website. Hang on a second. I gotta pause my recording. How do I pause the recording? Oh, there it is. What is that? So the website is bls.gov. If you don't know what you want to be, go to bls.gov and onetonline.org. And between those two websites, you can learn so much. The form you're looking at right now is under the assignment that says student information sheet. But I went all the way through my bachelor's degree. I got an accounting degree, only to find out that I didn't want to be an accountant. But that was back in '94. The internet was still new, and I didn't take the time while I was working on getting my degree to actually learn what an accountant does. I highly recommend that you go online and learn what does a cloud security person do? What does a tech make building and troubleshooting computers? what does that guy make at Best Buy, right? You find out what you want to do now before you spend money on classes that you ultimately don't need, right? Sometimes the hardest classes are the best for you because they get you a job that nobody else wants to do, right? Because it's too hard. Anyways, so tell me what your program is. Tell me where you might want to work in the future. I'm not holding you to that. I'm not going to check on you 3 years from now. Just put something in that box. Family and pets share something. Overall computer knowledge on a scale of 1 to 10. A 1 is I'm really good at Facebook, but I don't know anything else, right? A 10 is I build my own computers. I network my not only my house but my dad's business. I program in 5 languages. I've never been in front of an app that I don't know, and I made $1 million last year on an app for the Apple store that I made and released. And crazy, all it does is, you know, show pumpkins on Halloween, but 1 million people bought it, and I got $1 from every one of them. All right, that is what a 10 is, right? I'm not a 10. I'm not even close to a 10. I've never made $1 million in programming in computers, but hopefully someday some of you do. Now, computer software, how comfortable are you with software? Uh, if you barely know how to use Windows, but you can get around, you can make icons on the desktop, and you can get around and change your password, stuff like that. But when it comes to changing any settings, or, you don't, or going into the control panel, you don't do any of that stuff. And you've never even heard of Linux. You don't know what I'm talking about. That is really a low. It's okay. It's okay to. You're only sharing this with me. This will help me understand you possibly later in the semester, if I need to refer to the sheet. So these numbers here, computer software. If you're really good with software, and you've worked with Active Directory, and you've used a server before, and you've configured a server for a business, and give me a 10, put a 10 in there, be proud of that. I've never configured a server for a business except for in uCertify. Give me a phone number. I'll tell you where I use the phone number. If you at the end of the semester you got a 67 in the class. I did this last semester for a student. And 67, you're going to get a D in the class, right? That student just needed to do one more assignment. I told them which assignment they needed to do, and they passed the class. I'd much rather you pass the class than see you again in the fall, right? So, but I'm only going to interact with you if you're almost passing. I'm not going to call you if you got a 50, right? And I'll also do the same for the people that are almost an A. I'll say, hey man, you've missed this project. You got to get it done, and you're getting an A in the class. But I'll only do that for the people that work and help me in the help discussion forum. The people that make recommendations on stuff that's useful, click link videos, and help answer questions that students have. Those are the people that I want to get an A, right? If you got an 87 B and I want you to get an A, I'll say, hey, if you retake this test, or if you do that, you'll get an A. I won't give you the A. You've got to actually do whatever it is that you didn't do, and I will I will help you. The scale would. Yes, you can be a 1. Nobody is less than a 1. Everybody knows how to use Facebook. You all here in this class, you all know how to use WebEx, so you're good. That's funny. Uh, and an email. Give me an email that's not your school email. I don't ever use the email, but if I can't get you by phone, you give me your aunt's phone number and it's disconnected, then or she doesn't answer it, then I'll send you an email. I'll tell you the same thing. I say it's school email, but nobody ever reads their school. I don't even read my school emails. Then I want you to give me a picture right here. I want a picture of you. Now you might say, hey Don, why do you need a picture? I feel that's invasion of privacy. But you're in a class, you're in a college class that you should if we were traditional, you would have to walk in. Nobody wears a mask over their face to hide themselves, right? Or you, uh, I guess if you have COVID, maybe you should wear a mask. But right, everybody, I can see you if you're on a traditional course. I should be able to know who you are in my classroom. Now, if you really don't have a picture, I'll help you get one. I'll take one for you. But if you really don't want to share a picture because you're a hermit that doesn't ever share pictures of themselves anywhere, period. I respect that. Okay, but you're going to lose the 5 points that this is worth. Okay, I want a picture. Give me a picture. You know, give me a picture, and don't give me a picture of you in a goofy outfit because one summer you worked at Disney. I don't want that. I want to see your face. Or some guy gave one kid gave me a picture of them surfing way out in the ocean. Really a great picture of them surfing, but I couldn't see what they looked like. That doesn't count either. It should be a face picture of you. You get the idea. All right, that is this assignment, and I just added that. I wanted to go over that specifically because people they love saying they're tens when it comes to uh, computers, but later in the semester I find out that they've never even heard of Linux, so they don't know what the control how to open up a command window, right? All right, so what else we have? FSC online resources. This is the same you get from every class that you are in. So don't worry about that. Access, if you're looking for something like my grad plan to see how close you are to graduation. I did close the wrong thing. No, I guess this is fine. Um, so back here. Am I in the right course? Yep. So you can minimize things as you go through, right? If you're missing it, I don't see anything from last week. Well, expand it out, right? All I was showing you was start here. What was I in the wrong class a moment ago? I hope I don't have to do this again. Anyways, it's the same assignment. Did you guys not see that assignment? Was I in the wrong class? It's possible. No, this is last semester. I get it. Anyways, what else? Turn it in. You can turn in um, your work ahead of time and get a turn it in reading on it to see uh, if it thinks you're cheating because that's the same report I get. There's going to be a course feedback. Oh, this is all my stuff. Of course, feedback at the end of the semester that I want you to fill out, especially if you like the class, saying that you like the class and why. Um, let's see. Here's NetLab. I registered for you, and let's go to uCertify. Let me see if I can find a uCertify assignment. Let's see if it's links here. Here's the link to uCertify. And you have to log in. This way, I'm thinking maybe you could just buy access to uCertify, which might be cheaper than the paper book. And then once you're in, you're going to click on My Library, and you're going to see the courses that you are in. Now we're in 11. Let's see, we're in 1101 and 1102, not 1001, 1002. This was the old class. This is what yours is going to look like. And you should have a hardware and a software. This is hardware and software. So one of these is hardware, the other one's software. And let's see, I don't know which one's which. This should be A, so this should be used. So I'm going to click on it. And once you're here, this is your class. You have software. I'm going to open it. And as I mentioned earlier, the assessments, this is where all the points that are going to go into the course. These are the point things that matter. It tells you how many things you got to do. But when you get it, and it looks like when it starts and when it's due. Okay, that's fine. And then, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't do I ask you to do the pre-assessment. This is a test that they don't expect you to know a lot of. This is at the beginning of the course so that you know what you have to learn, what's ahead of you. And then there's a post-assessment at the end. It's the exact same test to see what you learned by taking the course, right? Hopefully your score went up, right? That's what we hope. And then these are the lessons. Remember earlier I said that there's a whole bunch of lessons that are not worth any points. Well, I don't think that's really fair. The chances of you going through and doing all of these labs is unlikely, right? This is the ebook. Well, here's the lab. Let's go to the labs. Somebody left. Okay. Come on. Oh. All right, let me go back in again, I guess, once you get there. Assessments, practice test, lessons. Oh no, hands-on labs. That's what I wanted to show you. This is the ebook, right? So you can read the book, and here's the hands-on labs. So these are the labs. There's a lot of these labs, right? I don't remember how many of them there are, but this is for both courses, by the way, I think. Yeah, because it goes from 1 all the way to 18. But this is where I was talking about reassigning points based on you doing these labs. This is how you're going to pass the assessment. This is how you're going to do well in the class. If you skip, how to identify a PC bus, right? If you skip this, then when the assignment actually, the assessment tells you to install a motherboard component here, and it's like, I don't know how to do that. Well, that was what the lab showed you. The lab showed you how to do it. The assessment tests whether you know how to do it. If you skip the lab, how are you going to do well in the test? So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to add this to a course. So it's going to be worth some points. It's not going to be worth the majority of your course, but it'll be worth some points because I think it's important to do well on the assessments. And the way you're going to do well on assessments. Now, if you're also taking my Cisco hardware, you're going to have hardware as well, and it's going to be laid out the exact same way. Okay. You're just going to go into it in my library, and you're going to click on the other course that this would probably be the hardware class. Let me close that window. Anything I forgot to point out? Let's see. Okay, I got you back in. All right, so that is an example of uCertify, and I'll probably put a link up at the top of the course. The actual assignments aren't linked. The course is linked. And then later, I have to pull over the grades into our grade book. I can show you the grade book now because I haven't pulled anything over yet. You're all in the grade book, but there's no actual grades. Good for you. Some of you are already doing the work. But I have to, the quizzes, and here's all the lab. Oh, it does look like Module 5 lab. It looks like they've added all those labs in here now. I'll have to look at that to find out. And the assessments, here's the tests and the exams and the assignments. Here's the skills test activity. So you can see there's a lot of stuff to do this week. That's why I say don't fall behind, because you got a lot to do in this course. Again, I'm not going to share this with everybody, only with our class. So it's okay if you see everybody else that's in the class. So here are the discussions. You can either scroll down to the discussion, and there's help discussion. This is the one that you have to do this week. I've already introduced myself, and it looks like a bunch of you have already participated. And then here are the help discussion. When we're in Module 2, ask a question about Module 2 in Module 2. When we're in Module 12, ask a question about this skills test in Module 2. I mean, don't ask how to do it, just ask. I'll post these other graded discussions later on. I'll post those up to the top. So this is the only graded discussion right now. Let's see, I think that's it about the course. the class, how to navigate around the class. The assignments are here, um, and you will and, and you will reading and resources supplemental. There are some really cool supplemental things that have been created, videos. So don't wait till Sunday night to do your work, right? Wait, you want to do a little bit every day, and you'll get through the course and learn more because you'll have time to go through those supplemental, especially in things you don't know. Um, and I'll enable all the quizzes. You'll be able to take those anytime. Any question about the course or uCertify or NetLab? Well, let me finish the video. I'll stop the video. Stop recording. All right. So here, let me stop sharing. So this looks professional. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay. You should see me again. So hopefully that shows you how to move around. Now, some of you already know how to do all that stuff, but hey, if you've never seen NetLab, now you've seen it. If you've never seen uCertify, now you've seen it. And this video will be in the classroom, so you can always just jump to the pieces you don't remember when you actually have to do those pieces, if you found the video helpful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. Stop recording. Thank you for the second part. The next thing I'm going to cover is the actual content for this week with our first PowerPoint for the semester. So hang on. I'll take a 1 minute break, 2 minute break, pull it up. Good time to go use the restroom. And I'll see you again in the next video.